Live from the CBS Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is CBS 2 News at 6 p.m.
Firefighters getting a better handle on the holy fire tonight, but hot weather this weekend could change all of that. Tonight, more than 21,000 people are out of their homes and more than 21,000 acres have burned. Good evening. I'm Crystal Cruz in for Peter Doubt.
And I'm Suzanne Marquez. Some evacuation orders were lifted today, but the holy fire is still just 29% contained. CBS 2's Lori Perez is live in Corona, where there's a community meeting happening tonight. Lori, I'm sure lots of people attending that.
Absolutely. A really good crowd of people has been filing in here to the Temescal Valley Elementary School behind me. And as they are doing so, there's no avoiding the smoky haze and all of the ash that continues to fall from the sky as this holy fire is now in its 6th day. In fact, one of the school workers took me into the school and showed me the courtyard, which is just coated with this stuff wall to wall. Kindergarten orientation was supposed to be yesterday. It was canceled. This has been really tough. We have intense video from the past few days, how and when things will get back on track as firefighters continue to battle this wildfire are some of the questions that people are going to be asking at this meeting. Understandably, people are stressed. They are anxious. We just spoke with one homeowner who told us there are also real security concerns now as people have been out of their homes for a few days.
The looting is happening in Sycamore Creek, all the areas that have been evacuated. A lady about an hour and a half ago just posted on our site that her husband got out of the car to give some firefighters snacks and they took his car. So they've been evacuated. She doesn't have a way to get here to help her husband.
That's a really sad story. Now, she's going to try and get some answers about that situation. Lots of other questions will be addressed here. If you can't get to the meeting tonight, they are going to be streaming it live on the Cleveland National Forest Facebook page, so you can check in online to make sure you get the latest information about the fire and evacuations, road closures, all those sorts of things. We're live in Corona tonight. I'm Lori Perez, CBS 2 News. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Lori. Now let's head over to CBS 2 meteorologist Markina Brown for a look at the weather condition firefighters are up against tonight. Markina.
Thank you, Crystal. Luckily, weather conditions really aren't that bad. As we look at Trabuco Canyon specifically, we're looking at just 80 degrees and winds, as you can see, are gusting at only about 7 miles an hour. Relative humidity is at 61, which is really good. Lake Elsinore, a little warmer at 86 degrees, winds gusting at 16, relative humidity at 46%. And then when we go to the Corona end of things, we have temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Winds are out of the west at 13 and gusting at 14. Humidity level there is at 50% as well. So humidity levels really aren't that bad. Winds aren't a problem. We'll continue to watch the conditions as we go forward. But what about the opportunity for more humidity and more shower and storm activity? We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit, ladies. Until then, back to you.
Thanks, Markina. Breaking news in San Marino. A large oak tree toppled onto some power lines on Roanoke Road, knocking out electricity to thousands of neighbors. Most of the power is back on, but SoCal Edison crews are working to restore electricity to almost 300 customers who are still in the dark without air conditioning. Roanoke Road is closed between Granada Avenue and Chelsea Road while workers try and clean up this mess.
Now at 6, new video and new information about the deadly passenger plane joyride that turned into a final flight for the lone suspect who stole the aircraft.
CBS 2's Brittany Hopper has the latest on that bizarre incident that took over the skies of Seattle, Brittany.
Very bizarre and very tense moments. And now investigators are trying to piece together the actions and motives of the man who stole the empty passenger airplane from Sea-Tac Airport. He ended a series of daring maneuvers and then he crashed.
No, I just told you I don't want to hear
The
no
employee who stole the Horizon Air passenger plane was a ground service agent. He had worked for the airline for 3.5 years and had full security clearance. Even without a pilot's license, he pulled off hair-raising maneuvers in the air.
To be honest with you, I mean, commercial aircraft are complex machines. They're not as easy to fly as, say, a Cessna 150. So I don't know how he achieved the experience that he did.
The worker has been identified as 29-year-old Richard Russell. He was able to push back from the maintenance position and turn the plane 180 degrees for takeoff from Seattle's Sea-Tac Airport. A pair of F-15 fighter jets were on his tail within minutes. He shared his thoughts with air traffic controllers.
I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this. Just a broken guy, got a few screws loose, I guess.
Russell died in a fiery crash an hour later on an island in the Puget Sound.
There's so many unhappy people out there. Who would do something like this? It's just sad.
The FBI is leading the investigation. Ron Hosko is the agency's former assistant director.
My first thought was, thank God that this was depression impacting one person, and he did not have a more nefarious scheme in mind.
Airline officials promise to learn from the tragedy to make sure it never happens again. Now, the FBI says it has dozens of personnel at the crash site, but asked the public to be patient with the investigation. Susanna Crystal, back to you.
Thank you, Brittany. 2 people killed and 4 others hurt in a fiery crash on the 405 freeway in Westminster. A big rig, pickup truck, and Honda crashed into each other on the southbound lanes at the Beach Boulevard off-ramp. The CHP says the crash was probably caused by a speeding driver in a Honda.
About a dozen people marched in downtown LA to voice their concerns about deadly officer-involved shootings. The group was calling for a state investigation into the death of 16-year-old Anthony Weber. He was shot and killed by LA County Sheriff's deputies in February.
Firefighters put out a big fire in Vernon tonight. It broke out at a commercial building on Leonis Boulevard. The heavy smoke from the fire could be seen for miles. So far, no one has said if anyone has been injured.
The LA Rams hosted Vamos Rams Day at their training camp in Irvine today. And as CBS 2's Greg Mills shows us, thousands of fans showed up.
A special welcome for Rams fans today. And Christy Sandoval's mural masterpiece spells it out.
Vamos Rams, like go Rams or let's go Rams, you know? Yes, it's which is good, you know, because the Mexican Latino community is a big Ram supporter.
Yep, Vamos Rams Day, singling out a special group of Southern California Rams fans.
The Latino fans are so loyal, and I like that loyalty.
Yes, he does. And as much as he might want to habla Espanol with the fans, well, he confided that won't be happening.
I take Spanish and can't speak none of it anymore. not a lick. my Spanish, she's with Miss Glauberg, and I can't speak. She'd be embarrassed for me right now.
Eric Dickerson is a popular former Rams player, and this group hopes they are future Rams players, and they're checking out the current Rams.
I thought Jared Goff was bigger, but he's skinny, so, you know, he's really good. He can throw. He can throw.
This group plays football at St. Paul's High School in Santa Fe Springs. And they keep an eye on the pros playing their position.
Yeah, of course. I always study my receivers.
When not studying the Rams, fans were checking out this Rams ride. And a big hit today.
The face painting.
For young girls and older girls.
It looks awesome and it has glitter.
But the biggest off-field hit today, taco trucks brought in for the special day.
I got asada and then chicken, but I gave her most of my chicken, so.
Why'd you do that?
Because that's what she wanted to eat.
Got to keep her happy because she made the long trip from Ventura to Irvine just so he could see his favorite team. One of the fun things for fans here is getting those autographs from the Rams players. That Jared Goff, the quarterback. 4 more practices here in Irvine tomorrow, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. In Irvine, Greg Mills, CBS 2 News.
Coming up, arrest tonight in Charlottesville, Virginia on the anniversary of a deadly attack at a white nationalist rally.
2 kids trapped in a hot car led to one mom being arrested. We've got the video coming up.
Plus, liftoff delayed for a historic mission to the sun. So what went wrong? And when will NASA try again? Coming up.